Okay, so I wanted to briefly discuss something called oncotic pressure. And so oncotic pressure is a fancy way to describe the relationship between proteins in your body, particularly albumin, and water distribution throughout the body. So there's supposed to be like a certain percentage of fluid in the intracellular compartments, a certain percentage in the extracellular compartments, which includes the interstitial and the intravascular compartments, right? So albumin pretty much keeps all that water in check. In other words, you're not walking around with edema because you have a good amount of albumin in your system that your liver synthesizes, right? So, a kind of a way that I created to memorize or to really understand the relationship is kind of like the relationship between proteins and H2O or water in your body is the same relationship that a pimp has with a harlot. You guys should know what a harlot is, okay? Not Google it. But the pimp pretty much keeps the harlot in check. He tells her, hey, you can go down Park Avenue, you go down Gary, you go down Holt, but you can't go down San Francisco because that's a residential area, right? My point is the pimp keeps the harlot in check. But what happens when the pimp finally gets arrested or he gets shot or whatever, he's no longer there. Now the harlot can go wherever she wants. Well, it's the same relationship with the P protein albumin and the H2O. If the protein is in adequate amounts, then the fluids will be in the respective compartments. But if for whatever reason you have glomerulonephritis or nephrotic syndrome where you're losing proteins, like such as proteinuria, or you have liver issues where you're not synthesizing proteins, well, you don't have your pimps, you don't have your proteins, and therefore the water goes everywhere and you develop third spacing or you develop what we call anasarca, generalized edema. This can lead to ascites, this can lead to periorbital edema. So that's how I want you guys to remember this, okay? Pimps and harlots is oncotic pressure. When you lose your pimps, your harlots go everywhere. When you lose your proteins or when you're not synthesizing them, such as in liver cirrhosis, then you have fluid that goes to other compartments and that leads to edema. So I hope that makes sense, guys.